Hello everybody, hoping you can give me about 10 minutes to give you a quick update on some key things that I'm very keen to understand and get to know and also to get your feedback. Three main areas I want to cover today, just a very quick update on where I am with my discovery phase, what I've been listening and learning, and also in particular on our 21 key action service plan, which is about how we're going to look to transform our informatics function to a modern digital data and technology function and way of working at BCU. I want to talk about the proposed name change for informatics to digital data and technology service. And then finally, I want to talk about our design principles. These are the digital data and technology design principles, things that we should bear in mind, the whole organization should bear in mind when making any investment or decisions around digital data and technology. They're the three main areas I want to cover. Hopefully we'll get to the end of that and really keen for some of your feedback on it. I am using some new video technology today, so hopefully it's going to work. So it might be a bit clunky, so let's see how we go. And some of it requires me dragging my video across to be able to show some screens and do some fancy stuff. Hope you don't mind me trying this out on you guys. So first of all, you'll recall, it's nearly 3 months, or it is 3 months since I started at BCU. You'll probably recall from previous videos, one of the key things that I wanted to do was to do a discovery phase where I really listened and understood some of the problems and issues and also some of the good stuff that's going on here from an informatics perspective. And that meant discussions with some of you guys, a lot of work with SLT, we've had away days, we've had all sorts really. And the culmination of that is us then, as we're going through the discovery, to define and develop a plan of action. So what's our plan of action that we need to deliver to transform the way and how we deliver digital data and technology so we get best value for money for both the health board and we deliver the best outcomes for the patients of North Wales, or the people of North Wales. So what I want to talk about really, just highlight to you now that we have developed a 21 action service plan. This is the document here. What will be in this document is an introduction in terms of what this is all about, basically 21 changes to how to deliver digital data and technology. It will focus on the fact that our approach and thinking is more about how we deliver better outcomes rather than outputs. These things will be explained. And then it goes into the specific initiatives and pieces of work that we're going to be cracking on with. To be clear about this, each one of these initiatives are quite significant in their own right. There will be an SLT member who will own it. So this first one, for instance, is about establishing a new open and transparent digital data and technology project and portfolio management office and method. That is basically about how we commission new pieces of work, how we impact assess them, ensure they're linked to priorities, and so on and so forth. That particular action quite significant, and on that you'll see there's the main objective area, the milestones, the high-level outcomes, and the risks if we don't do it. So each of these will form part of a PADR objective, an appraisal objective for SLT members. And what I'm very keen on is SLT members link with you in your team meetings and the like to consult on these things and to make sure that everyone understands the part they play in modernising informatics and transforming some of what we do, hopefully for the better. Your role in making that happen is really important. There are 21 in total major actions in here. They spread across all elements of informatics. They include some work on architecture, some work on doing some HIMSS maturity modeling. They talk about and link to our clinical leaders, Jason, Jane and co, in terms of setting up an office of the CCIO, so on and so forth. I should say as well, this has been to executive team and it's been signed up to. So this document will be shared. There'll be a link for you to have a look at that and go through that. My expectation is there potentially will be individual videos on each one, might be an interview with a particular SLT member, and also my expectation is that these things are discussed in your team meetings, so you understand about them, what they're all about, what's the relevance, and how does it fit in to yourself. So in that regard, the other thing I know is something which happened or started before I started was some discussion and a consultation about the change in the name of the Informatics service. There's been a mix of views, and along with this video and the link to this video, there will be there'll be a short note to you guys which will basically explain that as a result of that consultation, we've decided to use what government and healthcare describes as the profession that we work in, which is digital data and technology. In other words, do what it says on the tin. What digital data and technology encompasses is it encompasses not just the IT, the traditional information and communication technology aspects, it encompasses intelligence and insight, the way we want the information team to be working in future. It incorporates information governance and aspects of data protection, of course. It also incorporates digital and aspects of delivery and innovation. That is an all-encompassing term to describe the profession that we're working in. And from SLT's point of view, you'll see, by the way, on the email, there's a reference, a link to the gov.uk site, which has got the collection of the different DDAT, digital data and technology professional jobs and all that, so you can get a description of the different roles within there, which is helpful. But from an SLT point of view, we decided this is what we should rename our service to, and we hope as well with that it will raise our external profile and make us look a bit more attractive to new recruits and the like. So we'd be grateful if we could start using that title from now on. Whether or not we formally have to take that anywhere, I don't know, but I will incorporate that into future EMT papers. Again, any big issues and all that with that, please get in touch and we can talk about that. So you should see, and I'll just show you again with this magic, you should see this note coming out to all of you, which will describe that in a bit more detail. Right, so as part of the service plan, a key aspect of the service plan is about governance. And governance is ultimately, all governance is really, is clarity about who makes decisions, how decisions are made, etc., to make sure things are effective. And what we've done, as is the case in, any other organisations really who do anything to do with digital, we have come up with some digital design principles, and basically all these is really a statements that describe the most important goals that when we are delivering or developing something we should take into consideration when making those sort of decisions. So I'm just going to share this paper very quickly with you. This paper will be shared, and I'm really keen for feedback and views on this, and hopefully some support. So what you'll see in this paper, this is a draft going to EMT. When it goes, well, I would like it to go in August time, really, hoping for a 2-week window for people to feedback or provide views. Please do that through your SLT member if you want. Now, what I'm saying here, as part of changing how we do digital data and technology as an organisation, it's recommended that these principles are agreed as part of the governance to any decision makings we do in future. What you'll see in this documentation and what you'll see in this document is a description of the design principle, and then underneath it an explanation. So just by way of example, we will simplify, standardize and reuse information and technology resources and components across the health board and our partners. What does that mean? Well, this is standard practice. Good IT and business practice is to simplify and standardize capabilities. Why bespoke things? Why have separate capabilities and solutions when one will do? What can we do to simplify and standardize what we do, as opposed to creating more complexity, which means more bespoke systems, which means more costs, which means more integration, which means more problems. The more we can simplify and standardize, the better value that we'll deliver, and the better outcome, in my view, overall we'll have on the patient overall and the system overall. So I'm just using that as an example design principle. So when we're considering any new solution, if someone comes forward with a solution which is very bespoke, we need to be pushing back potentially, if these are agreed by our executive team and maybe our board, to say, well, hang on a minute, our design principles are this. This is the reason why we've got these design principles in place. We can't do that, I'm afraid. However, how can we reuse some capabilities we've already got to deliver the outcome or solve the problem that we've got? There's some in there in particular around the business change elements. Very conscious of the fact that as an organization as a whole, we're not necessarily the best at realizing benefit from change. Anything to do with technology, you've got to recognize a lot of it. Any project, it's 50% about people, 25% about process. The technology is generally the easy bit. So making sure we build in sufficient for the business change elements. And there's many others there. One that we've included as well, which is, let's say, a non-technical or a non-IT-ish type thing, but we think very important as an SLT, and that relates to the values of the organization. Irrespective of what values or the application of the values in other parts of the organization or anywhere else, we in the current informatics service, possibly named digital data and technology going forward in future, are really keen to live the organizational values. In other words, these are a set of principles and rules by which we will, how we'll do things. And that is putting patients first, work together, value and respect each other, learn and innovate, communicate openly and honestly. Yeah. So from our perspective, what we want to do, and we are raising this to EMT, this is the way we want to work. But the most important thing, if people believe we are not sticking to these values, or anyone's not sticking to those values, we want it called out. And we're happy for it to be called out. And everyone else should be as well. That's the behaviours that we want to work to make this a better place to work. But that's how we deliver. That's how we're going to deliver things around here. So as I say, this paper will be sent round to you guys for consultation and feedback. I hope all the things I've talked about today will be discussed in your team meetings, so you can talk about the relevance to you and your areas and what part you play in that, and we get your feedback. I want to get the name in place, finalised by end of July, and similar, the design principles ready to go into EMT in August. So keen to get your feedback and views. Just one other thing before I go. I've asked people, keep on asking people, if people have got anything that they want to announce as part of these videos. Very happy to do that. Some key things that are going on, maybe outside of work or whatever. It's up to you. Anything you might want to advertise or get people to know about. Successes is something I'm really interested in as well. And just a big shout out, just on one of those, is Gareth Owen from the coding teams. So just a big shout out to Gareth for passing his coding exams. I know they're extremely challenging and really important. It's great to have coders. Qualified coders are gold dust. So brilliant that Gareth's got that qualification. Well done, Gareth. And that's the end of this session. So thank you for listening, and see you soon.